The Material Editor in 3ds Max has two modes. The Compact Material Editor is the old school mode that's been around since version 1 of 3ds Max. We're going to cover the Slate Material Editor in this course. If you want to learn about the Compact Material Editor, you can look that up in another lynda.com course, which is 3ds Max 2013 Essential Training. We're going to take a look at the Slate Material Editor now. To open up the Material Editor, you can click on the button on the main toolbar or press the M key on your keyboard. And by default, the Slate Material Editor will launch. If you want the Compact Material Editor, you can go over to Modes and choose Compact and switch it out. Okay, we're going to go back to the Slate Material Editor. It's broken up into three main areas. On the left is an area where you will see a list of all the possible materials and maps, and that's the Material Map Browser. In the center is the main view, which is where you can build and make connections. And on the right, you have the navigator and the parameter editor. The parameter editor is where, of course, you can make all the changes to things like color and so on. We'll start by creating a new material. You'll see here Materials Standard. These are all the materials that will work with the 3ds Max default scanline renderer. The one you'll use most often is Standard. Click on that and drag it over into the main view. And now you've created a material node. In order to see its parameters, you'll need to double-click it. And then you'll see a dashed line surrounding it. And then you'll also see its parameters displayed here. It doesn't exist in the scene yet. It's only in this view panel here. And this view area is really a sandbox in which you can make changes and build materials. But just because something is here in the view does not mean it's in the scene or vice versa. If you want to assign it to an object in the scene, then you'll need to select the object. So for example, here I've got my logo. Scroll down a little bit. Just show you, I'm going to scroll down to the end of the animation here. I've got the logo and I can select that. And in the Slate Material Editor, if I want to assign this material, then I have to have the material node selected, the object selected, and then I can click this button, Assign Material to Selection. And now it's assigned. If I deselect that, you'll see it's turned gray. And we can start playing with the material parameters. For example, the diffuse color. That's the main color of the object. Most objects and materials have a diffuse component, and that's the light reflected back from a rough surface that's not super highly polished. Click on that diffuse color swatch and choose a different color. Let's try a green color or something. Maybe bring that up. And you can see a change in the viewport. We should probably also give it a name over here, and I'll call that one Logo Material. I do like to put the word material in the name so that I know that that's a material and not, for example, a map or some other type of shading node. Cool, so we've gotten started with getting familiar with the Slate Material Editor.